Good morning everyone. Yan, hintayin muna natin yung iba bago tayo mag-start. Meron na tayong 6 viewers. Yan, tingnan natin kung makakasali pa yung iba. Okay, meron na tayong 8 viewers. Hintayin lang natin sila. Ma'am, paano po yan? I-click mo lang yung link na sinend ko sa inyo. Saan po tayo sasagot? Hintayin lamang mamaya yung instruction ko. Kasi after ng reading, saka tayo magbibigay ng mga questions na sasagutan ninyo mamaya. Parang quiz lang iyon. Okay. Habang hinihintay natin yung iba, yan. Yan, sasabihin ko sa inyo yung mechanics ng game natin. Ano or yung quiz natin mamaya. So, bali mamaya, meron tayong good morning, Cristel. Good morning, Lizel. Meron tayong tatlong uri ng questions. Yung easy, average, tsaka difficult. Doon sa easy questions natin mamaya, bawat isang tanong guys ay 1 point lamang. Pero sa easy type of question, meron tayong 5 questions dito. Yan. Doon naman sa average question class, bawat tanong ay may katumbas na 2 points. Yan, 2 points ha. At dito sa average na questions natin, meron tayong tatlong tanong or tatlong questions. Alright? At sa ating difficult questions naman, ay meron tayong 2 questions lamang. Pero ang mga tanong na ito ay katumbas ng 3 puntos bawat isa. O, di ba? So, yung mga medyo alanganin sa easy round or sa average round, hindi makakabawi dito kasi medyo malaki-laki yung puntos dito, 3 points. Pero alalahanin ninyo na doon sa easy round, meron tayong 5 questions. Kaya, sa easy round pa lang, dapat ay tama na yung maisasagot nyo or correct yung mga maisasend nyo na sagot sa ating comment section. Okay? Yan. Meron na tayong 11 viewers. Meron na tayong 11 viewers. 13 na ngayon. Yan, may turn na. Ma'am, lahat po ba ng grade 7 papanoorin? Kung ikaw ay member ng Authentic Book Club, ay ini-encourage kita na manood at magisali sa ating quiz mamaya kasi ang mananalo dito ay bibigyan ko ng instant load. Yun. O, diba? Bongga. Instant load. Bale, 3 ang bibigyan ko ng load. Yung first, second, and third. Okay? Hindi naman kalakihan ang ibibigay natin na load, guys. Pero, syempre, magagamit nyo ito sa online class ninyo. Sa amount na 50 pesos, pwede na kayong makapagklase ng 1 or 2 subject doon. Paano mag-comment? Ang comment ay ilalagay sa comment section dito sa ating Facebook Live. Makikita nyo dyan, yung mga comment na, yung mga sinabi ng mga klase nyo na greetings natin, tulad nila Cristel, Lizel Ann, Brian Almazan. Diyan nyo lamang ilalagay yung mga sagot nyo mamaya. Yan po yung chat box natin, guys. Okay. Nakita nyo na? Unahan lamang mamaya sa pagsagot. dito sa ating comment section. Kung gamit nyo ay laptop or netbook, parang ganito siya. Ayan. Yan yung mga comment natin. Yan, si City Zaini, yan, nag-comment na rin siya. Yan yung lamang ilalagay. Nakikita nyo na? Okay na? Yon. Nandyan yung chat box natin sa mismong video. Magpaturo kayo kay City Zaini. Alam niya. Kay City Zaini. O kay Princess. Nababasa ko yung message nila, Princess. O nag-greet na sa akin si Princess. Alam naman na ng mga kaklase nyo, hindi nyo pa rin mahanap. Tignan nyo lang dyan sa video natin. Okay na? Okay na, Arnel? Gwen? Meron na tayong 18 viewers. Si Bea, yan. Nag-greet na rin si Bea. Good morning din. Okay na, alam na ninyo. Wala nang problema. Well, hindi niya pa rin masundan. Pumunta kayo sa ang nangyari kasi nasa mismong Chrome pa lang kayo. I-open nyo yan. I-open nyo yan sa YouTube app ninyo. Okay? Dahil, kaya pala. Ganyan o. Yan. Nakikita nyo yan. Eto, i-click nyo lamang. Sana yung cursor natin. I-click nyo lamang yan. Itong may 3 dots dito sa taas. Kapag na-i-click nyo na yan, mapupunta na kayo sa YouTube app mismo. Gets? Kasi kapag dyan, kumbaga nasa Chrome pa lang yan eh. Kung nasa mismong YouTube app na kayo, dun nyo na makikita yung mga messages, yung mga comments sa comment section natin. Okay? Sana nakasunod kayo. Okay na? Okay, very good. Yan. Nasundan na. Yan. Kaya hindi nyo nababasa yung mga messages, hindi kayo makapag-comment dahil nasa Chrome pa lang kayo. Kumbaga nasa Chrome pa lang kayo. Kailangan yung i-open yung link na yan sa mismong YouTube app ninyo. Okay? Sana nasundan nyo na. So once again, good morning to all of you, my dear students of Authentic Book Club. Alright, welcome to our first episode of ABC Online Reading Series for this school year 2021 to 2022. Before we begin, let me introduce myself for the sake of those new members of this club. Yan. I am Geraldine Sagario and you may call me Teacher G. I am one of the advisors and proponents of this club. Alam na ng iba na my co-advisors are Teacher Josephine and Teacher Gerald. Yan. So, this is the new innovation of Kawayan City Science and Technology High School, which, okay, without further ado, let's start. Today, I'm gonna read a story entitled The Wedding Dance by Amador Daguio. Okay, and the author of the story is Amador Daguio. About the author class, or about the author, my dear students, he was a poet. Okay, for your information, he was a poet and a teacher during the pre-war. He was best known for his fiction and poems. He served as chief editor for the Philippine House of Representatives before he died in 1966. Daguio was born on January 8, 1912 in Ilocos Norte. Siya sa Ilocos Norte, but grew up in Lubuagan Mountain Province, where his father, an officer in the Philippine Constabulary, was assigned. That is the reason why doon siya lumaki na, doon na siya tumira. Okay? But sabi dito na pinanganak siya sa Ilocos Norte. Okay. Bago tayo dumako sa ating mismong piece, let's unlock some, maybe, yung difficult terms for you. Yung mga vocabulary words para sa inyo. Ano tong mga vocabulary words natin? Okay. We have here 1, 2, 3, 6 vocabulary words. The first one is threshold. So what is a threshold? It is a strip of wood, metal, or stone forming the bottom of the doorway and cross in entering a house or room. Another new words, perhaps, word para sa inyo ay itong word na gangsas. So, what are gangsas? These are Cordilleran gongs, mga gongs sila, which comprise of 6 pieces or more, and each piece is made of bronze or brass. Okay? Another vocabulary word is smoldering. Smoldering is the process of burning slowly with smoke but no flame. Yan, parang ano lang siya, coal. Wala siyang flame. Another vocabulary word is embers. These are small pieces of burning or glowing coal or wood in a dying fire. Okay? Next is huddle, crowd together. Another vocabulary word is kabunyan. Kabunyan, students, is a kankana, a word pertaining po yan ha, pertaining to a superhuman being or spirit worship as having power over nature or human fortunes. In other words, ito ay isang gods. Mapapansin nyo dyan, small letter G. So, mga Diyos-Diyosan. Diyosa ng mga, it says here, the god of Vigorots. Okay, let's have the setting of this story. The setting of this story is a mountain village, yan, kabundukan, okay, of the Philippines, where Awiyaw has been remarried. Okay, remember that the setting of the story is a mountain village. Yan. Kaya pala alam na alam ng author yung kultura nila dito kasi doon mismo ay tumira siya. Yan. Next. Pero hindi ko sinasabi na tumira siya doon sa mismong sinasabi sa kwento ha. Doon sa mountain village. Okay? have here the main characters of the story, Awiyaw, Lumnay, okay, and Madulimay. But syempre, ang leading man ay si Lumnay at ang leading man ay si Awiyaw rather, at ang leading lady ay si Lumnay. Awiyaw is the lead male in the story who loves Lumnay but left her because she didn't produce children for him. Ayan. Hindi siya mabuntis. Kaya kailangan niyang humanap ng ibang mapapangasawa. Dahil gusto niya ng anak. Lumnay, another one is Lumnay. Okay, Lumnay is Awiyaw's former wife who is still in love with him yan, despite the fact that he married another woman. Yung asawa niya, ex-wife na niya, kasi nga mag-aasawa na siya ng iba. At itong ibang mapapangasawa niya ay si Madulimay. Ayan. Si Madulimay ito. Madulimay is Awiyaw's new younger wife with whom he hopes to have children. Ayan. Hoping siya na magkakaroon na siya ng anak from Madulimay. Yan. Parang medyo, ano naman ito, class, no? Part kasi ito ng kultura nila. Okay? Doon sa kwento. Okay, so let's begin reading the story. If you are ready, mag-comment lang kayo ng thumbs up. Okay, so let's begin. Awiyaw reached for the upper horizontal log, which served as the edge of the head-high threshold. Clinging to the log, he lifted himself with one bound that carried him across to the narrow door. He slid back the cover, stepped inside, then pushed the cover back in place. After some moments, during which he seemed to wait, he talked to the listening darkness. I'm sorry. This had to be done. I am really sorry. Neither of us can help it. The sound of gangsas beat through the walls of the dark house, like muffled roars of falling waters. The woman who had moved with a start when the sliding door opened her. She gave no sign that she heard Awiyaw, but continued to sit unmoving in the darkness. But Awiyaw knew that she heard him, and his heart pitied her. He crawled on all fours to the middle of the room. He knew exactly where the stove was. With bare fingers, he stirred the covered, smoldering embers and blew into the stove. When the coal began to glow, Awiyaw put pieces of pine on them, then full round logs as his arms. The room brightened. "Why don't you go out," he said, "and join the dancing women?" He felt a pang inside him, because what he said was really not the right thing to say, and because the woman did not stir. "You should join the dancers," he said, as if nothing had happened. He looked at the woman huddled in a corner of the room, leaning against the wall. The stove-fired played with strange moving shadows and lights upon her face. She was partly sullen, but her sullenness was not because of anger or hate. Go out. Go out and dance. If you really don't hate me for this separation, go out and dance. One of the men will see you dance well. He will like your dancing. He will marry you. Who knows but that with him, you will be luckier than you were with me. I don't want any man, she said. I don't want any man, she said sharply. I don't want any other man. He felt relieved that at least she talked. You know very well that I won't want any other woman either. You know that, don't you? Lumnay, you know it, don't you? She did not answer him. You know it, Lumnay, don't you? He repeated. Yes, I know, she said weakly. It's not my fault, he said, feeling relieved. You cannot blame me. I have been a good husband to you. Neither can you blame me, she said. She seemed about to cry. No, you have been very good. Good wife. I have nothing to say against it. It's only that a man must have a child. 7 harvests is just too long to wait. Yes, we have waited too long. We should have another chance before it is too late for both of us. This time, the woman stirred, stretched her right leg out, and bent her left leg in. She would the blanket more snugly around herself. You know that I have done my best, she said. I have prayed to Kabunyan much. I have sacrificed my chickens in my prayers. Yan, nag-sacrifice pa siya ng mga manok. Yes, I know. You remember how angry you were once when you came home from your work in the terrace because I butchered one of our pigs without your permission? I did it to appease Kabunyan. Because like you, I wanted to have a child. But what could I do? Kabunyan does not see fit for us to have a child, he said. He stirred the fire. The spark rose through the crackles of the flame. The smoke and soot went up the ceiling. She touched each time she sat up and came down with this light rattle. The song of the dancers clamorously called in her care through the walls. Awiya went to the corner where Lumnay sat, paused before her, looked at her bronze and sturdy face, then turned to where the jars of water stood piled one over the other. Awiya took a coconut cup and dipped it in the top jar and drank. Lumnay, I came home, he said, because I did not find you among the dancers. Of course, I'm not forcing you to come if you don't want to join my wedding ceremony. I came to tell you that although I am marrying her, can never become as good as you are. She is not as strong in planting beans, not as fast in cleaning water jars, not as good in a house clean. You are one of the best wives in the whole village. That has not done me any good, has it? She said. She looked at him lovingly. She almost seemed to smile. He put the coconut cup aside on the floor and came closer to her. He held her face between his hands and looked longingly at her beauty. But her eyes looked away. Never again would he hold her face. The next day, she would not be his anymore. They tugged softly at the This is your house. I built it for you in the pounding of the rice. I will give you the field that I dug out of the mountain during the first year of our marriage. I will give you the field that I dug out of the mountains during the first year of our marriage, he said. You know I did it for you. You helped me to make it for the I have no use for any field, she said. He looked at her, then turned away and became silent. They were silent for a time. Go back to the dance, she said finally. It is not right for you to be here. They will wonder where you are, and Madulimay will not feel good. Go back to the dance. Yan. I would feel better if you could come and dance for the last time. The gangsas are playing. You know that I cannot. Lumnay, he said tenderly. Lumnay, if I did this, it is because of my need for a child. You know that life is not worth living without a child. The man have mocked me behind my back. You know that. I know it, he said. I will pray that Kabunyan will bless you and Madulimay. She bit her lips now, her head wildly, and sobbed. She thought of the 7 harvests that had passed, the high hopes that they had in the beginning of their new life, the day he took her away from her parents across the roaring river on the other side of the mountain, the trip up the trail which they climbed, the steep canyon which they had to cross. The waters boiled in her mind in forms of white and jade and roaring silver. The waters tolled and growled, resounding in thunderous echoes through the walls of the stiff cliffs. They were far away now from somewhere on the tops of the other ranges, and they had looked carefully at the buttresses of rocks they had to step on. Slip would have meant death. They both drank of the water, then rested on the other bank before they made the final climb to the other side of the mountain. She looked at his face with the fire playing upon his features, hard and strong and kind. He had a sense of lightness in his way of saying things which often made her and the village people laugh. How proud she had been of his humor. The muscles were taut and firm, bronze and compact in their hold upon his skull. How frank his bright eyes were. She looked at his body, the carved out of the mountain's 5 fields for her. His wide and supple torso heaved as if a slab of shining lumber were heaving. His arms and legs flowed down in fluent muscles. He was strong, and for that she had lost him. She flew upon his knees and clung to them. Awiyaw, my husband, she cried. I did everything to have a child, she said passionately in a hoarse whisper. Look at me, she cried. Look at my body. Then it was full of promise. It could dance. It could work fast in the fields. It could climb the mountain fast. Even now it is firm, full. But awiyaw, I am useless. I must die. sabi niya. It will not be right to die, he said, gathering her in his arms. Her whole warm, naked breast quivered against his own. She clung now to his neck, and her hand lay upon his right shoulder. Yan, nagpapaalam na siya dito. Her hair flowed down in the cascades of gleaming darkness. I don't care about the fields, she said. I don't care about the house. I don't care for anything but you. I'll have no other man. Then you'll always be fruitless, sabi naman nung isa. I'll go back to my father. I will die, sabi niya. Then you hate me, he said. If you die, it means you hate me. You do not want me to have a child. You do not want my name to live on it in our tribe. Yun pala kung bakit gusto niyang magkaanak. Because yun ay kultura nila. So, the girl, yung isa, yung babae ay, sabi dito, she was silent. If I do not try a second time, he explained, it means I will die. Nobody will get the fields I have carved out of the mountains. Nobody will come after. O maliban doon sa reason kanina, walang magmamana ng ari-arian niya. Kaya gusto niya magkaroon ng anak. If you fail the second time, she said thoughtfully, the voice was shuddered. No, I don't want you to fail. If I fail, sabi nung lalaki, I will come back to you, then both of us will die. Yan. Mabubuntis yung pangalawa. Babalik siya kay Lumnay. Sabi dito, sila. Forever, sabi niya. Yan. Sabi dito, binigyan niya siya ng beads. Mamahaling beads yan. My beads, she half whispered. You will keep the beads. They come from far off times. My grandmother said that they come from up north, from the slant-eyed people across the sea. You keep them, Lumnay. They are worthy 20 fields. Iyon ay worth siya ng ilang field? 20 fields. I guess that's 20 hectares. Okay? I'll keep them because they stand for the love you have. I love you, and I have nothing to give. She him from a voice was calling out to him from outside. Awiyaw, oh Awiyaw, they are looking for you at the dance. I am not in her. She will scold you. You had better go. Not until you tell me that it's all right with you. It is all right with me. He clasped her hand. For the sake of the tribe, he said. I know, she said. He went. Yan, umalis na si Awiyaw. He stopped as if suddenly hit by a spear. Yan, pumunta na siya doon. In pain, he turned to her. Her face was in agony. It pained him to live. She said she had been wonderful to him. What was it made a man wish for a child? What was it in life, in the work, in the field, in the planting and harvest, in the silence, in the communing with husband and wife, in the whole life of the tribe itself, did man wish for the laughter and speech of a child? Suppose he changed his mind? Why did the unwritten law demand anyway that to be a man must have a child to come after him? Diba? Do you agree? And if he was fruitless, but he loved Lumnay, it was like taking away of his life to live her like this. Yan. That ends the story. So even if he loves Lumnay that much, but still, okay, kailangan niyang mag-anak ng iba para magkaroon ng anak. Okay. Nasabi ko na, nabasa na natin yung reason kung bakit kinakailangan niyang mag. Of course, that is part of their culture. Alright, so, yan na. That ends the story. Alright, let's proceed to Q&A portion. Okay? Hit like or comment like for our Q&A portion. Okay, ready na si Prince, si Zaini, si Brian. Very good. Ayan. Ready na. Nakikita ko na ang mga comment ninyo. Ulitin ko yung ano natin kanina ha. So, I have here, hawak-hawak ko na yung mga questions. Ulitin. Mechanics natin kanina. Meron tayong tatlong uri ng mga questions. Okay. Okay, Gwen, noted. Average and the difficult type of questions. Sa ating easy question class, meron tayong 5 questions. Bawat isang question ay 1 point. Alright? 1 point. At meron tayong 5 questions dito sa easy round. Okay? So, doon ay syempre 1 point each question. Okay. Pag medyo pumalya kayo sa easy round, pwede kayong bumawi sa average round. Dahil ito ay 2 points each. 2 points bawat tanong. At meron tayong 3 tanong dito. Okay? At para mas makabawi pa kayo, kung medyo natalo kayo dyan sa round na iyan, meron tayong difficult round na bawat tanong ay may katumbas na 3 points. Pero dito ay meron tayong 2 tanong lamang. Pero 3 points each yan. Pwede kang makahabol kung halimbawa na medyo talo ka sa easy round. Okay? So, nakikita ko na ang mga nagko-comment. Yan ha. Nyo dapat ay naka-caps lock, naka-capitalize. No? Para mabasa natin ng mabuti. Para makita ko agad-agad. Okay, ulitin ko, ang mga sagot ay dapat naka-capitalize. Okay? Kung ang hinihingi ko naman ay the letter of the correct answer, kapag ito ay multiple choice, ilagay nyo lang yung sagot na A. Letter A, capital letter A, capital letter B. Ganyan. Ako din kanina, mahina ang signal ko eh. Okay, kapag ready na kayo, let's start. Let's begin with the easy round. Yan, nasa easy round na tayo. Okay, nasa easy round na tayo, guys. Okay, listen carefully. Okay. Here is the question number 1. Okay. Number 1 question. Who is the author of the story, The Wedding Dance? The author of the story, The Wedding Dance, that I have just read a while back. Amador Daguio. Very good, Alona Jane Galotera. Alona Jane Galotera. Okay? Alona Jane Galotera, 1 point agad-agad. Okay? Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina sa mechanics ay hindi lang dapat ikaw yung nauna. Okay? Ikaw yung nauna, pero dapat correct din yung sagot mo. Okay? Amador Daguio or Amador Daguio. Pwede yun. Kahit walang middle initial. Pwede. Pero guys, ulitin ko ha, ang nauna sa inyong lahat ay si Alona Jane Galotera. 1 point para kay Alona Jane Galotera. Okay, ng grade 7 ito. Okay, hindi lang grade 7 ang kasali sa ating quiz ha. Okay, lahat ng grade level nakasali sa ating ABC. Okay, next question. Next question. Where did they get married? Ang tinutukoy dito, class, ay si Awiyaw at Lumnay. Ito ay multiple choice. Huwag muna kayong sumagot dahil ang isasagot nyo lang mamaya ay letra ng tamang sagot. Ulitin ko ha, dito sa number 2, letra ng tamang sagot lamang. Naku, Arnel. Okay, Arnel. Mountain Village is correct. Pero Arnel ha, next time ay hintayin mo yung ang tawag dito, yung instruction ko ha. Pero that's right, you're right Arnel. Okay. Mountain Village ang sagot. Okay? Arnel Galam. Okay, 1 point for Arnel Galam. Pero next time is hintayin nyo na yung instruction ko ha. Kasi kapag baka magtatampo yung iba. Okay? Next question. Sa ating next question. Pero tama ka, Arnel. In the mountain village. Number 3. Okay, ready? Who is the second wife of Awiyaw? Ready? Get set, go. Who is the second wife of Awiyaw? Very good, Siti Zaini. Madulimay. Siti Zaini. 1 point for Siti Zaini. Okay, very good class. Kaya lang medyo nahuli kayo ng konti. Si Siti Zaini ang nauna. Hindi si Lumnay ha, si Madulimay. Alright? Okay, number 4 question. In the story, what did Awiyaw, in the story class, what material thing did Awiyaw gave to Lumnay aside from the house before he left? Ano yung iniwan niya sa kanya na material thing? Nakatumbas nito ay 7th field ata yun. Ano yon? Ano yung material thing na nagkakahalaga ng maraming hektarya ng lupa? Ano yon? Okay? Kailangan ko bang magbigay ng clue? It starts with letter B. So, what's it? Ano yung binigay niya? Okay, walang sagot. Oops, meron ng sagot. Tingnan natin kung sino ang unang sumagot. Very good. Beads ang tamang sagot. At ang unang nakasagot ay si Brian Almazan. Brian Almazan. Very good, Brian. Brian Almazan. Beads ang binigay niya. Beads. Okay? And last question for easy. Easy round. Sa ating easy round. Okay? What did Awiyaw sacrifice for his prayers? Anong sinacrifice niya na niregalo kay Kabunyan? Is it, anong sinakripisyo niya na inialay kay Kabunyan? Nag-alay sila ng baby. Very good, Brian. You've got it. Chicken. O, tama, chicken. Hindi baby, alangan naman nakakatayin nila yung baby. Ba? Nagkatay sila ng chicken. Your answers are correct, chicken, but syempre, ang nauna ay si Brian Almazan. Okay, 2 points na si Brian, guys. Okay, mag-proceed na tayo sa ating moderate round or average round. Tatlong questions lamang ito pero 2 points each. Okay. Makinig ng maigi kasi ito na yung tanong. Alona, sandali Alona, i-check ko kung ikaw ba talaga ang nauna. Ay, hindi. Alona, I'm sorry Alona, pero si Brian ang nauna. No? Okay. Question for our average round. What was the conflict or yung problema? What was the conflict of the husband and wife? The conflict between Awiyaw and Madulimay. Ang problema kung bakit. Okay, please complete your answer in a form of sentence. Kompletuhin ang sagot sa pamamagitan ng pangungusap. Okay, meron na akong nakitang sagot. Okay, ang nakita kong sagot na kompleto ay si Girly Ramones. Very good. You're right, Girly. Hindi sila magkaroon ng baby. Correct yun. Okay, wag na kayong mag-argue sa ating comment section, ha? Okay. Good vibes lang, good vibes. Hindi sila magkaroon ng baby. Ang nauna class ay si Girly Ramones. Okay, Girly. 2 points agad-agad yun. Nako, humahabol si Girly. Next question. Itong question na ito, class, ay multiple choice type. So, ang ilalagay nyo lang ay letter A, or letter B, letter C, or letter D. Alright? Okay. Ay, Gwen Ramones. Sorry, Gwen. Oo nga, inaalala ko kung sino si Girly. Sorry, Gwen. Okay, 2 points kay Gwen. Pasensya ka na, Gwen, ha, na nakalimutan ko. Okay, our next question is, what figure of speech? Okay, alam niyo naman na siguro yung mga figure of speech na napag-aralan niyo nung elementary kayo. What figures of speech or figurative language is used in the sentence, she danced like a bird? She danced like a bird. I'll repeat. What figure of speech is used in the sentence, she danced like a bird? Is it A, metaphor, B, personification, C, simile, or letter D, irony? Okay, ulitin ko. Is it A, metaphor, B, personification, C, simile, or letter D, irony? Okay. Class, or guys, the correct answer is letter C, simile. Bakit simile? Kasi nga, it compares two different things na may the same quality, pero gumamit siya ng word na like. She danced like a bird. Okay. Kapag gumamit siya ng word na like, that is simile. The correct answer is letter C. At ang unang nakasagot ay si Princess Lagunya. Princess. Ay nako, humahabol din si Princess. Okay, marami nang naka 2 points. Okay. Letter C ang sagot. Simile. Next question. In the sentence, let's talk to the listening darkness. Ayan, let's talk to the listening darkness. What figure of speech is used? Okay. So, letter of the correct answer lang ang itatype nyo, ah. Let's talk to the listening darkness. Anong figures of speech, figure of speech daw ito? A, metaphor. B, personification. C, simile. Letter irony. Your time starts now. Please type your answer. Is it A, metaphor, B, personification, C, irony, C, simile, D, irony? Okay. Sino kayang nakakuha ng tamang sagot at Naku, medyo nalito ako. Medyo nalito ako kasi hindi ko na alam. Naghalo na yung sagot nyo sa previous question ko. Ganito na lang ha. Paunahan ulit. Ilagay nyo yung letter ng correct answer tapos i-type ninyo kung ito ay metaphor, personification, simile, at irony ha. Yung letter tapos yung answer. Okay? Sensya na kayo kasi nalilito ako sa mga... Okay, ulitin ko. A, metaphor. Type ninyo ang metaphor kung letter A. B, personification. I-type ninyo ang personification kung yun ang sagot. C, irony. Wrong answer, wrong spelling, wrong. La. Okay, meron nang nakakuha ng tamang sagot. The correct answer is letter B, personification. At ang nakakuha at ang nakatype na una ay si Prince Joseph Bautista. Okay? Si Prince Joseph Bautista. Personification yan. Correct naman yung spelling niya. Joseph. Okay, next. Okay, nasa difficult round na tayo. Okay, nasa difficult round na tayo. 3 points each ito. Number 1, question. Dapat ang sagot nyo dito ay okay, na form of sentence. Dapat sa pangungusap siya. Okay? Hindi lang one word ang kailangan dito. Okay? I-type nyo yung sa pamamagitan ng yan, pangungusap, sentence. Number 1. What are the expectations for men in a Wiyaw's culture? What are the expectations for men in a Wiyaw's culture? Your time starts now. Ano ang expectation sa mga lalaki doon sa kultura nila Awiyaw? Ano ang ine-expect sa Okay? Yun ko ang mga sagot niya. Okay, wala pang nag-type ng kanilang sagot. Okay, meron na akong ayan, tingnan natin kung meron nang nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Pangungusap ang sinasabi ko ha, dapat nasa pangungusap siya din. questions. Okay, magbabasa tayo ng sagot. Okay. Pag naintindihan ko yung thought ng sinasabi, siya na ang alright? Okay. Rent a baby to protect the girl. They have a baby. They want to have a baby. A man should have a child when they grow up. Magkaroon ng anak. Okay, pare-pareho ang thought ng kayong lahat. Kaya lang, ang nauna sa inyo, okay, they haven't, okay, I'm so sorry Arnel, but yung thought lang kasi ay medyo hindi gaanong okay, parang klaro ganun. So, sino ang nakakuha ng tamang sagot na nauna sa inyo? Si Brian Almazan. Si Brian Almazan. Okay, may next question pa naman tayo. What are the expectations for woman, para naman sa babae, in Awiyaw's culture? Ano ang expectation sa mga babae? Your time starts now. Okay. Anak. Okay? Ang expectation ay to bear a child in their womb is the expectation for the women in Awiyaw's culture. Magkaroon ng anak. Kailangan ang babae ay magkaroon ng anak. Sino ang nakakuha ng tamang sagot? Ang nagulo na. Medyo pasensya na kayo, nagulo yung kwan natin. Pareho lang kasi ng sagot. O, ito na lang. Okay, nabanggit ko ito. Points din to. Identification. The wedding dance, 3 points din to ha. The wedding dance is a story which reflects the culture and tradition of what tribe. Anong tribo yon? Yung na-reflect doon. Anong tribo? Nabanggit ko ito kanina. 3 points to. Anong tribo doon? Is it 8? Okay, Arnel, 8 daw. Awiyaw. Anong tribo sila? Okay. Identification to Wala pang nakakakuha ng tamang sagot. Pagbibigyan ko pa kayo. Alright. Meron nang nakakuha ng tamang sagot. Okay, at ang nakakuha ng tamang sagot na nauna ay si Yashira Villanueva. Yashira Villanueva. Yes, yun. Igorot. Igorot o mga ipugaw. Yan, kultura nila yan. Okay. And for our last question, para magkaroon na ng winner, kasi may mga kwan sa inyo. Okay? Last question na ito. Last na ito, para malaman kung sino na talaga ang nanalo. Okay? For our last question. Okay, for our last question. Okay, our next question is about the author. Okay? Si Amador T. Daguio. Okay. At ang tanong ko kay Amador T. Daguio, yan. Itong question ko kay Amador ay 3 points to, ha? 3 points. Daguio was born on January 8, 1912. Okay. The question here is that, saan siya pinanganak? Although lumaki siya sa Mountain Province, saan talaga siya pinanganak? Saan siya pinanganak? Your time starts now. Okay. At ang nauna ay, okay, sabihin ko muna, ang tamang sagot ay Ilocos Norte. Lahat kayo ay tama, pero ang nauna, guys, ay si Alona Jane Galutera. Sa tingin ko, meron nang nanalo. Tingnan natin, ha. Itali natin. Si Alona nakakuha ng 1 sa easy. At sa difficult ay 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. Si Arnel Galam naman ay nakakuha ng 1 point sa easy round. Si Zaini ay nakakuha ng 1 point din sa easy round yon. Okay, si Brian Almazan ay nakakuha ng 2 points sa easy round plus 3 points. Plus 3 points sa difficult. O di 5 points na. Si Gwen naman ay may 2 points. Si Princess Lagunya ay may 2 points din. Si Prince Joseph ay may 2 points. At si Ashira ay may 3 points. Okay. Meron tayong tie. Okay? Ang tie natin, Alona Jane Galutera at Brian Almasan. Ngayon, kailangan ma-break yung tie. So, tingin tayo ng another question na para malaman natin kung sino ang magpa-first sa kanila at kung sino ang magsa-second. Okay? Makinig ng mabuti. Alona Jane. Okay? Alona Jane and Brian, sa inyo ang para sa inyo ang question na ito. Okay. Okay, i-identify nyo lamang itong babanggitin ko. Kung ano ito. Okay? Itong ide-describe ko na ito. 3 points, okay. Kung kahit man ito ay 1 point or 3 points, basta ang manalo dito ay siya ng magiging winner natin. Okay? Paunahan na lamang kayo. Okay? If you are ready, babasahin ko na yung question. These are Cordilleran gongs. It is also known as Cordilleran gongs, which comprise of 6 pieces or more, and each piece is made of bronze and brass. Tinatawag din itong Cordilleran gongs. Your time starts now. Made up of bronze and brass. Ano ito? Okay. Tignan ko nga kung alright. Tama. Very good. Meron ng nanalo. Ang nanalo ay si Alona Jane Galutera. Okay? 6 points. Ang tamang sagot ay gangsas. Ay, gangas. I'm so sorry. Gangsas ang tawag. Sorry, Alona, hindi gangas. It's gangsas. Gangsas. Okay? Okay. Next question tayo. Okay, paunahan ulit It is a kankanaey word pertaining to a superhuman being or spirit worship as having power over nature or human fortunes. It is the god of the Igorots. What is it? It is the gods or god of the Igorots. Anong sagot? Palitin ko yung tanong. It is a kankanaey word pertaining to a superhuman being or spirit worship as having power over nature or human fortunes. It is the god of the Igorots. Diyos-diyosan nila. Okay, may nanalo na. The correct answer is Kabunyan. And our winner is no other than Alona Jane Galutera. Congratulations! Okay, so online reading session via Facebook Live. Thank you so much for listening. I hope na meron kayong something na nalaman na naman ngayon about literature, okay? Philippine literature na kung saan nalaman natin na part kasi ng kultura ng mga taga Mountain Province. Yan noon. Noon, kultura nila yan. Pero syempre, ngayon, merong konting nag-alter na siguro ng konti yan. Merong konting changes na yung kultura nila. So, that ends for this session. Thank you so much and goodbye!